It's a business battle involving booze, and Kentucky bourbon is in the center of it. President Trump has implemented that 25% tariff on goods coming from Canada and Mexico as he demands those countries do more to stop the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. Canada's response will take a little bite out of the bourbon industry.
Canada imports about $40 million of Kentucky's finest every year. That's less than 1% of all bourbon sold. But Bro Brothers Bourbon of Louisville feels the impact right now. It's a small distiller that was just about to reach a deal in New Brunswick, Canada, to sell up to 5% of what it bottles.
We literally were in the midst of that deal, and they were scheduled to be visiting in May. And now we've just had to put everything on hold.
Last month, with talk of a trade war, Canadians were scrambling to buy bourbon. But now, some won't even have the option of paying higher prices with tariffs.
One of the provinces, Ottawa, is already pulling bourbon off the shelves. This is an unnecessary trade war with a partner and an ally.
The province of Ontario cleared the shelves of all American alcohol, a move that the Distilled Spirits Council of the United States found hard to swallow.
That is almost masochist because the Canadian provinces are going to lose revenue as a result of that, and probably enrage a lot of Canadian consumers that love Kentucky bourbon.
President Trump and Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau talked on Wednesday, but only the auto industry got an exemption on tariffs for 30 days.
With all the concern about tariffs' impact on Kentucky bourbon going north of the border, who really has the upper hand, though? Because Canada sells a lot of product in our country, including the #2 selling spirit in all the United States, Canadian whiskey, Crown Royal, $2 billion a year.
And the tariff on Crown Royal might cause some American drinkers to buy a domestic product.
It is not in Canada's interest to get in a trade dispute with the United States for the distilled spirits industry as well. So it's a lose-lose proposition.
As for Bro Brothers Bourbon, the strategy is simple. Find other markets.
We currently have a deal in South Africa. We're also working on a few other countries. I don't want to say those because then everyone will follow the trail.
The biggest bourbon concern on the horizon has nothing to do with our northern neighbors. The European Union has paused a 25% tariff on bourbon back in 2022, but threatens to wallop our whiskey with a 50% tariff in April if an agreement isn't reached with the Trump administration.
It's creating a lot of anxiety for the Kentucky bourbon industry, for sure.
Now, there is some good news on the tariff front. The largest whiskey market in the world is the country of India, which recently dropped its 150% tariff on American spirits to 100%. And President Trump hopes to reach another deal that will lower it further or possibly eliminate that tariff by India.